does a man get this sadistic? How does a man turn into a monster of this caliber? Could it be that this man was brought into the industry by a bunch of people who were monsters themselves? What's up? What it do, Says So Squad and Scandalites, as well as everybody else. This is Ashley with Ashley Says So, and no, this is not an old Hollywood scandal video, but you guys have been asking about it, and we really need to talk about it any doggone way. Now, before we get started, I have to give a shout out to King Devo Strut. Thank you so much for the Amazon wishlist gift that you sent me. I also need to give a special thanks to Miss Brenda. Thank you as well for the Amazon wishlist gift that you sent me. I cannot stress enough to all of you guys how grateful I am that you guys helped me out by sending me gifts. Now we're gonna go ahead and jump into it because everybody knows about the Diddy situation, but let's see if we can try to figure out how he actually got here. You know this whole story is about to be a scandalous thing, child. After this disclaimer. So y'all know my disclaimer, all of my videos are for entertainment purposes. Everything in them is rumor, gossip, and scandal that I get from books, word of mouth, on TV, anywhere I can find it. On this particular video, I need to add that there are also several conspiracy theories on this video. I do not know what is true or false. Let's get to it. Sean John Combs was born on November the 4th, 1969 in Harlem, New York. His mother's name is Janice Combs and his father's name was Melvin Earl Combs. And gossip claims that Janice and Melvin were two kids from the ghetto who dreamed of an easy life full of fine things. Now, Melvin started off by going to the military, but when he came back home, allegedly, he decided to sell drugs. Now, although Diddy likes to say that his daddy was as big as Frank Lucas and Nicky Barnes, child, the streets say that Melvin wasn't nowhere near as big as all that. But whatever amount of money he touched, it was enough to catch the eye of a girl that was well known across the city, and that was his future wife, Janet. Gossip claims that Janice was a girl who felt like she could use what she got to get herself to the easy life. And baby, if you thinking Janice was one of these Rudy Pooty $40 hoes, oh honey, you got another thing coming. Janice knew how to enterprise, and she set her stuff up like a business. Stories say that she used to kind of have a makeshift ghetto modeling agency. And so she used to throw these fashion shows and she would recruit beautiful girls around town to walk in these fashion shows. But see, that ain't where the big money came in at. The money would come in when politicians or celebrities or big time basketball players, boxers, whoever it might be, when they would come into town and throw parties, and they used to contact Janice to bring in her models to walk around the parties, dance, flirt with people, things like that. But rumor has it the big money came in when those girls did a little bit more than dancing and flirting, if you know what I mean. But allegedly one of those models who did a little bit more than flirting and dancing was underage. And so the folks say Janice packed up shop, child, and never threw a fashion show or provided entertainment for a party ever again. And rumor has it, when you look up Janice's occupation history and it says something about her being a model, this is what people are referring to. So anyway, while Janice's alleged moneymaker occupation got shut down, Melvin was still rolling on with his. And by the year 1971, he was doing so well where he wasn't bringing in money like Nicky Barnes and Frank Lucas, but he definitely was able to come in the room with them, especially Frank Lucas. He was actually rumored to be a very close associate to Frank Lucas. But sadly, by the year 1972, Melvin Earl Combs was murdered. Now, most people believe that Melvin was murdered because he was a snitch. But some people who are allegedly in the know of the real reason said that Melvin was actually murdered for messing with somebody else's woman. Now that's a bombshell already, but what makes this story even more of a bombshell is that allegedly Janice was the one who set Melvin up. See, these people said that Melvin was cheating on Janice with a 22-year-old woman by the name of Cassandra or Corman. And she was upset that Melvin wouldn't leave her alone. And so that next night when Melvin left to go see the girl, Janice called the girl's boyfriend and told him that Melvin was over his girl's house. And that hustler caught Melvin sitting inside of his car outside of that girl's apartment and walked up to him and put 2 bullets in his head. But the folks say that Janice thought that the boyfriend was just gonna kick down the door and start beating up Melvin. She had no idea that that boyfriend was gonna take it that far and actually kill Melvin. So per the rumor or the story, this is why Janice left Harlem as soon as Melvin passed away, because she was allegedly afraid of how people were going to react when they found out that she was the one who gave Melvin's location away. It's already some mess, but let's go ahead and get back to Diddy, because gossip claims he was 3 years old when his father passed away. And I haven't mentioned this yet, but he also had a little sister and she was only a few months old. And when Diddy became of age to go to school, she either used a large portion of money that she had saved to get him into a Catholic school called Mount St. Michael, or someone from the school Mount St. Michael came to Janice and offered Diddy free tuition. Whichever one of those is true, Diddy did end up attending this Catholic school, and he was such a favorite there that he served as an altar boy. He built a lot of special relationship with a lot of the priests and clergy there. He also was on the football team. And here's where things get strange, because you see, Mount St. Michael has a reputation for multiple sexual abuse allegations. And from the articles online, the abuse was especially prevalent in the 1970s, which was the time that Diddy was attending. Matter of fact, the abuse was so much that Diddy graduated from the school in 1987. Well, here's an article from 1988 where somebody was accusing one of the priests there of messing with them. So the whole thing kind of makes you wonder, does that have any ties to the situation that Diddy is in today? But let's move on. So after Diddy graduated high school in 1987, he went to Howard University for a little while, and somehow while he was attending there, he started to have close ties with the rapper Heavy D. And once Diddy found out that Heavy D was signed to a label called Uptown Records, and Uptown Records was headed by a black man by the name of Andre Harrell, Diddy started begging and pleading to Heavy D to set him up a meeting with Andre Harrell. And gossip claims after Diddy's first meeting with Andre Harrell, Andre was so impressed that he immediately let Diddy come in as an intern. And soon after that, Diddy became the A&R person for the company. But the messy streets say intern, A&R, blah, blah, blah. Child, these folks say all of that was just fancy words for side chick. Baby, the folks say within a short period of time, Diddy ended up moving in Andre Harrell's house. Andre bought Diddy a car, bought Diddy all type of jewels. And most people don't know if Andre kind of forced Diddy to become this for him in order to move up in the music industry, or if Diddy was just cool with being this anyway and nobody forced him into anything. Whatever the case may be, all I know is that rumors on the streets is that Diddy and Andre Harrell were lovers. And according to the rumor, Diddy was able to go to Uptown Records and do whatever the heck he wanted to do. That is until he put together a celebrity charity basketball game using the name Uptown Records, and 9 people ended up passing away. And what happened was, Diddy sold tickets to 5,000 people to come to the basketball game, but the gym only held a capacity of 2,300 people. And so when they opened up the doors for people to come in, everybody wanted to come in and make sure they got a seat, and there ended up being a stampede where 9 people lost their lives. And this is where things got kind of bumpy with Diddy at Uptown Records, because he found out very quickly that Andre Harrell might have been his boss, but he definitely was not the boss of all bosses. Because see, Andre may have owned Uptown, but he also had some partners, and those execs were not happy at all with this tragedy, because now they were being involved in different lawsuits. You know, law enforcement were looking into things, just bringing too much heat. And so they basically made Andre Harrell tighten the reins on Diddy. And Diddy, who was used to getting his way at Uptown Records, who was used to doing whatever he wanted to do, now started hearing the word no a whole lot. Matter of fact, the very last no that he heard was when he tried to bring on Notorious B.I.G. and the people at MCA said no. Andre went back to the execs at MCA and told them, well, since y'all are so scared to have this new rapper Notorious B.I.G. to be signed under the Uptown label, how about y'all give Diddy his own label? And that's how Bad Boy Records got started. All these stories about how Diddy got fired from Uptown Records and became a Superman and started hustling and from the ground up built his own label and all that stuff, baby, it didn't go down like that. Bad Boy was a satellite company, kind of like an umbrella company that was up under another company. In the link in the top comment, Andre Harrell even said this himself. He and his partners gave Diddy the money to start up Bad Boy. They even gave him a stipend account where he would have money for signing bonuses for his new artists. But anyway, Diddy gets his own label Bad Boy, and now we're gonna start getting into some of the scandal. Because as soon as Diddy started Bad Boy Records, he started to behave like he was untouchable. But as we move along in this video, you'll start to realize that he was untouchable when he was committing crimes for the people. See, the conspiracy theories say that one of the things that Diddy had to agree to and become in order to get his own label was a hitman of sorts. He had to be willing to put in any work that the big people behind the scenes wanted him to handle. And allegedly, one of the very first handlings was Tupac. See, according to the conspiracy theories, a few years before Tupac died, him and the rapper Eazy-E started to get calls from a certain organization telling them that somebody was trying to murder them. But this organization also told Tupac and Eazy-E that they could stop the murders from happening. All Tupac and Eazy-E needed to do was pay them some protection money. Well, rumor has it, Eazy-E and Tupac realized that this was a shakedown. Wasn't nobody trying to hurt them and trying to murder them except that organization itself. And so they told the organization, no, that's cool. We don't need your protection. We'll be fine. And very soon after that, Eazy-E died of AIDS, which people in the know, especially former people who used to work for the FBI who were in the know, felt like was committed by the organization because Eazy-E wouldn't pay them for protection. So now that Eazy-E is gone, how can they get Tupac? Oh, I know. Don't this guy Tupac already have this big beef going on with that East Coast rapper Notorious B.I.G.? How about we just set the murder up to make it look like the cause of it was the West Coast and East Coast beef? Hey Frankie, get so-and-so in New York on the phone and tell him I want to speak to his main enforcer, that rapper Puff Daddy. And so allegedly the big suits talked to Puffy and told him that they would pay him very well and they would make sure that he would have continued success in the music industry if he would set up the murder of Tupac. And so allegedly the organization gave Diddy $1 million to get a couple of gangsters who lived in California or on the West Coast to commit the murder. And the folks say Diddy knew exactly what gangsters to use because the gangsters had provided security at one of his shows on the West Coast. And according to the conspiracy, those gangsters were Keffy D and Orlando Anderson, or aka Baby Lane. There were also a couple of other gangsters involved, but those were the main two that Diddy was in contact with. So anyway, the conspiracy claims that the gangsters do away with Tupac and everything is smooth for a little while. But about 1.5 years after Tupac was gone, Orlando Anderson can't stop talking about what he did to Tupac and how he was gonna always get away with it. Talking too much. Because see, that organization was starting to get nervous. What if this boy talks so much that he tells people that Puffy paid them to kill him? Get him gone, get him out of here. And so, 2 years after Tupac was murdered, Orlando Anderson was murdered. And according to rumors on the streets, the two other gangsters who were with Orlando Anderson and Keffy D, they also were allegedly murdered within the next 5 to 10 years after Tupac's death. So that just leaves Keffy D. And Keffy D most likely could have skated off into the sunset, but Keffy D's money got low. and he wanted a check. So he started to do the same thing that Orlando Anderson did all those years before. He started talking, doing interviews, writing books, probably even made a mixtape about it. Who knows? All I can tell you is that as soon as he starts doing all of that, boom, alleged evidence is found that ties Keffe D to the murder of Tupac. Keffe D goes to jail, and what's the first thing he starts screaming?
Well, yeah, I mean, I was a part of the plan to kill Tupac, but it was Diddy who gave me $1 million to do it.
And if this conspiracy about the true culprit being an organization who put Diddy up to it, then Keffe D might need to shut his mouth. But who knows, maybe we should just keep on believing that it was Diddy all by himself that paid these people $1 million to get rid of Tupac, simply basically due to some East Coast and West Coast beef. But let's put our thinking caps on and move on. Now, the next conspiracy alleges that Diddy and some of the higher ups also may have had a hand in Biggie getting on up out of here. See, the rumor has it that Biggie was about to leave Bad Boy for another label. And so no, we can't have that, losing one of our biggest rappers to another label, but we also can't or won't pay him any more money than we're already paying him. But psh, Diddy, come here. I'll tell you a way that the man can make us even more money. Take his behind off the planet and watch how much his music sells after that. Watch how much merchandise with Biggie's name and face sells after that. Memory sales make a lot of money, baby. A lot of times the celebrity is worth more dead than alive, especially if they're past their prime. In Biggie's case, he wasn't past his prime, but he was trying to leave. But again, all of this is just a conspiracy. Another crime that Diddy allegedly did at the behest of someone else was in the year 1998, or it may have been 1999, when he was working with Steve Stoute of Interscope Records. They were working together for Nas's music video for a song called Hate Me Now. So allegedly, Steve Stoute, Diddy, and Nas all agreed on the visuals of the video. You know, everything looked good. But right before the video was to be released to the public, Diddy called and told Steve Stoute, hey man, I changed my mind. I don't agree with the video anymore. I don't want Nas acting like Jesus nailed up to some cross. I don't want no reference of Jesus in this video, so get rid of it. And Steve Stoute was like, dude, we're about to release this video and we already spent $14,000. Said Diddy told him, I told you to take it out. Well, the video aired and Diddy looked at that doggone TV and he saw that Steve Stoute hadn't changed a thing. Baby, them folks say that Steve Stoute was in the middle of a company meeting telling me some, Helen, come on up, help me with these charts. They said that doggone chart he was reading came across the back of his doggone head. Girl, they say that Diddy and his crew walked in there and body slammed that man on the table, threw him on the floor, kicking him, stomping him all on his head. And according to the conspiracy, Puffy or Diddy took it this far because it wasn't just him that wanted Jesus out of the music video. It was some other people who were positioned above Diddy. And because Diddy failed to get Steve Stoute to remove the imagery, Diddy was going to be punished also. And Steve Stoute actually pressed charges against Diddy because he was upset that Diddy did him like this. But once he found out that it wasn't just Diddy who had wanted everything removed from that doggone video, apparently it spooked him so bad that he dropped the charges. Now, these are the public crimes that Diddy allegedly committed for his handlers or other people. But the private crimes he committed, the ones that's sitting up there finna blow your hair back. Because I want to make something clear to you guys. There are two sides to Diddy's alleged criminal activity. There's the side of the crimes that Diddy did on his own behalf for his own personal reasons, and then there's the side of the private crimes that he did for the behalf of the handlers. And first, let's talk about some of the private crimes that Diddy did on a personal level. And many of these crimes happened in his romantic relationships. crimes. See, there is a new book out alleged to be partly written by Diddy's deceased ex-girlfriend, Kim Porter, and that book alleges that Diddy was very possessive of Kim. Said that one time he thought she was cheating on him and he bust her upside the head with a chair. It also claimed that one time he wanted Kim to do him inside of his booster and she refused and he bust upside the head for that. The book even alleges that Kim saw footage of Diddy messing around with men, but even more than that, allegedly she saw footage of Diddy messing around with underage boys. Some people claim that the book said that Diddy was messing with an 18-year-old unnamed pop star, male pop star, and they also said that the book claimed that Diddy was also messing with an unnamed high-profile rapper. It talked about how Diddy forced Kim to participate in threesomes, but check me out. As bad as things were for Kim, they were said to be even worse for any man who tried to love her the right way or take her away from the pain. Rumor has it that record executive SHAKIR STEWART had a relationship with Kim Porter in the 1990s. But by the year 2000, Diddy and Kim were alleged to be together. Well, rumor has it in that same year of 2000, Diddy and Kim Porter flew to Italy to attend L.A. Reid's wedding, and SHAKIR STEWART was also there. And I guess SHAKIR had done some flirting with Kim at the ceremony and then allegedly later on sent her flowers to her room to kind of try to lure her back into a relationship with him. Well, baby, the story says later on that night, SHAKIR was sitting in his hotel room waiting to see if Kim was going to visit him. They say the door burst open and it was Diddy coming to see him. Baby said Diddy came into the room screaming and yelling like a madman and picked up a chair and broke it over SHAKIR STEWART's head and left SHAKIR on the floor bleeding and told SHAKIR, if I find out that you're trying to talk to Kim anymore, I'ma kill you. Well, check me out. After this incident, Dim and Kitty continued to date on and off, but in the year 2007, the folks say that Kim Porter finally called it quits for real because she found out that year before in 2006, when she was pregnant with her twins, Jesse James and Delilah Starr, Diddy had a mistress that was named Sarah Chapman that was also pregnant at the very same time, and she ended up giving birth to a daughter named Chance. So like I said, Kim ended up finding out about it that next year in 2007. She threw her hands up and she was done. Well, according to rumor, Diddy either heard or he thought that Kim was getting her broken heart comforted by her ex SHAKIR STEWART again. And baby said not even 6 months to a year later, SHAKIR STEWART ended up laid out on his bathroom floor with a gunshot wound to the head. And so if this is true, that Diddy didn't mind taking out people who tried to date Kim or mess around with Kim, then this really answers the questions that people were asking when they were like, ugh, look at Kim Porter, she is just so pretty. Like, why won't she get with anybody else? She just sitting around just kind of like waiting for Diddy to choose her or something. She's sitting up there getting disrespected left and right, so why won't she just get with somebody else? Because the woman was probably scared that if she got with somebody else, then that somebody else might be deleted off of this earth. And if you're wondering why people were saying it seemed like she was just waiting for her turn, is because see, by this time, Diddy was now allegedly in a relationship with the singer CASSIE. But get this, CASSIE was only 19 and Diddy was in his 30s. And just like Diddy was alleged to be with Kim Porter, he was very possessive over CASSIE as well. According to CASSIE's lawsuit, Diddy sexually abused her, he forced her to take drugs, he even made her sleep with different men in his crew, she had to participate in orgies. And I know y'all know about the physical abuse he was doing to her. Heck, you can pretty much see that on videotape. And just like it was with Kim Porter, when another man stepped in and tried to comfort CASSIE and show her a better life, Diddy allegedly tried to get rid of him too, and I am talking about the rapper Kid Cudi. Gossip claims at some point during his and CASSIE's relationship, they were at an off point and she started talking to Kid Cudi, and allegedly Diddy had explosives planted under Kid Cudi's car. Baby, the folks say that the car blew up in Kid Cudi's driveway. And to continue talking about how Diddy treated people that he was with in personal romantic relationships, There's a woman allegedly who goes by the name Virginia V, and she alleged that she ended up getting pregnant with Diddy's child, and he was trying to make her get an abortion, and she didn't want to. So baby, Virginia said that Diddy stumped the baby out of her. So how does a man get this sadistic? How does a man turn into a monster of this caliber? Could it be that this man was brought into this industry by a bunch of people who were monsters themselves? Now, I've already told you about the rumor of Andre Harrell and Diddy, and I told you that one of the rumors that was going around was that Andre kind of forced Diddy to do the things he did in order for Diddy to move up in the industry. But the rumors on the streets say that's what Andre wanted. Baby, they said that in order for Diddy to get Bad Boy Records, that man had to be passed around to many people. And one of the first names people always throw out there is Clive Davis. But see, per the rumor, or allegedly, Clive not only made Diddy do the Diddy with him, he also allegedly, according to the conspiracy theories, mentored Diddy in the art of blackmail and extortion, along with those hitman type crimes that I was talking about earlier. And this right here leads us to the rumors about those infamous freak-off parties. Because see, according to the conspiracy theories, when Diddy first started hosting those freak-off parties, he wasn't doing that for his own pleasure. Heck, he wasn't even doing it for himself. According to the conspiracy, Diddy was taught to host a so-called freak-off party purely for the intention of blackmail and ritual purposes for his handlers. See, I need y'all to listen and follow me closely real quick because it's levels to this thing. See, most people feel like the parties where Diddy was rumored to have done something with Usher, he was rumored to have done something at a party with Justin Bieber, Meek Mill, a lot of people feel like that was a part of the elite or Diddy's handlers making him do that to them. No, baby, according to the conspiracy, those are the parties that Diddy threw himself. Those are the parties where he fancied himself one of the elites, one of the handlers, people up here. See, that's the reason why you can go online and see Meek Mill sitting in a pool and Diddy walking up recording him, calling him daddy after a so-called night or alleged night of Thunder Buddy. And that's the reason that you can pull up a clip of Justin Bieber allegedly on his knees, bent down in front of Odell Beckham doing some stuff where Diddy is alleged to be recording that. That's the reason where you can watch a clip of Diddy basically talking about how when Usher was younger, Usher used to live with him and Usher used to wake up in the morning in the bed and start wrestling with each other over a bowl of cereal. That's the reason you can see clips of TD Jakes or allegedly TD Jakes two-stepping at a Diddy party. You see evidence of these clips because allegedly, according to the conspiracy, once again, these are situations or parties where Diddy was the mastermind. There most likely was possibly blackmail, extortion, or whatever else going on involved. But that was because Diddy wanted to. Like I said, he himself was acting as a handler. And these parties allegedly came much later in Diddy's career. But according to the conspiracy, the freak-offs or the parties that the elite or the handlers made Diddy host had been happening for several years before these parties, baby. And you won't see a shred of evidence or video clips of these so-called parties. And these are the true hidden tapes. These tapes ain't got no rinky-dink celebrities on them. No singers, actresses, reality stars, anything like that. That's Rudy Poo. Big time elites and handlers and execs ain't worried about getting no blackmail off of these celebrities. I mean, they do blackmail them, you know, but that's not their main concern. No, honey, they won't blackmail on politicians. Blackmail on people that's over the tech industry. Blackmail on Nobel Peace Prize winners. They won't blackmail on folks that's over the medical system. Powerful people. People that control the masses. Let me give you an example. And I'm not saying this is happening because it's not. I'm going to just say it's not, okay? So I'm not saying this is happening, but let me give you an example of what I'm trying to say. Let's say somebody comes up with a medication that can cure any disease. Nobody has to be sick again. Let's say that happens. And that person comes to the head of the medical system and says, here, I got a medication when nobody can ever be sick again. And so the head of the medical system is about to put out this wonder drug to the masses, but before he does, he gets a phone call. And the phone call comes from someone who makes money from headache medicine or runny nose medicine. It doesn't matter what type of medicine. They make money off of some type of illness that you have. They don't want no doggone wonder drug to come out and clear up an illness. Nobody has to get sick again. They don't want that because that takes their funds away. And so they tell that person over the medical system, hey, Bobby, man, I see you. You've been doing a great job. I love how you've been running everything. But listen, Bobby, I want to talk about my company at this party that this rapper Puff Daddy is having later on. Either one or two things is going to happen that night. It all depends on the personality of the person who's over the medical healthcare system. If they're laid back and chill and a family person, they're gonna go to Diddy's house, and the so-called freak off or party is not gonna be anything like we've been reading about. It's gonna be where everybody's having dinner around the table, people are drinking champagne, you know, it's going to match that person. But if the head of the medical system is a rowdy person that likes to party and do drugs and stuff like that, he's going to go to the party that Diddy is hosting, and it's gonna look like those freak-offs we've been reading about. Either way it goes, while this person is at this Diddy party, a young underage boy or girl is going to be escorted into the party. And if it's that calm and collected type medical person, and if it's that calm and collected, chilled, married type medical person, they're gonna find themselves just drinking champagne and all of a sudden falling asleep. If it's that wild, crazy, and bad one that likes to do terrible things, somebody most likely is going to come up to them and whisper in their ear, hey dude, I know you're enjoying the party, but it's this, you know, I got something in the back for you, ready for you in that bed. You can go on back there and do what you got to do. Whichever way it goes, that next morning, that person that's the head of the medical system is going to wake up, and they're going to find themselves in bed with an underage boy or girl, and Diddy or somebody else, but most likely Diddy, since he's the host, is going to walk in with a video camera playing back what happened in that bed that night. And Diddy, or whoever it is that has the video camera, is going to tell him, you see this right here? This means that you're gonna take that wonder drug that was offered to you that can heal any sickness anybody got. You're gonna take that and you're gonna stuff that, and you're never gonna bring it up again. You definitely ain't gonna release it to the public, because if you release it to the public, I'm going to release this to the public. And so that head medical person has officially been blackmailed by the person that owns the headache medicine or the sinus medicine or something like that. And like I said, I just use this as an example. I'm just saying that's what the conspiracy theories say. And they say it's the same for everything. Let's say somebody tries to pass a law that says we're gonna give every American $5,000 every month. Well, if you give Americans $5,000 every month, and now that takes away from them showing up to their job or performing at their job, most likely that politician that's trying to pass the law is going to get an invite to a Diddy party, and if not a Diddy party, a party from somebody else who's in cahoots with this whole doggone thing. So that's what I'm saying when I say the conspiracy says that the elites or the handlers are interested in real blackmail from people who have power. All of this stuff about, oh, I'm watching the Katy Perry video and her eye is covered, so she's a part of the Illuminati. Oh my gosh, this person has a triangle on their hoodie, so they're part of the Illuminati. All that stuff is child's play, baby. All that stuff is a diversion for you guys to look at the celebrity, while the real control is going on over here on stuff that really affects the people in this world. It's all a conspiracy. So let's move on. To finally get back on track to the regular story, allegedly it was parties like these that Diddy had been made to do for years. And I guess because Diddy saw how that worked, he liked the fact that these people up at the top had all this power. And I guess he wanted to feel some type of power himself. And so he started throwing his own parties and doing his own blackmail. And there's this whole big idea floating around that every single party or something that Diddy threw, they feel like he was forcing the guests to come in there and do things. But not all all of them parties was like that, baby, them so-called freak offs. See, everybody that came wasn't drugged and forced to do nothing. A lot of these men and women in the industry are simply just bisexual or gay, period, point blank. In fact, because of the nature of some of the rumors, let's talk about the men real quick. Some of these celebrities, singers and actors and ball players and stuff like that have a masculine or manly image and they just can't be themselves in public. But then here come Diddy telling these guys, hey bruh, you invited to my next party, bruh. Come on, man. It's dudes only, men only, bruh. You know, I know what you into. I know what you into. Trust me, man. You can come over there and let your hair down, man. And then everybody gonna be there. You can just take your pick of who you want. And so these celebrity men who are secretly gay would take Diddy up on his offer and they would come to his house and do whatever they wanted. And this is why you have that rumor or that statement from Diddy's alleged drug dealer that said that he walked in the house and he saw a bunch of celebrity men in there just doing each other pretty much. Nobody forced these men to do nothing. They did it because they wanted to do it, and that's fine. The only thing that made it not fine was Diddy himself, because he would secretly record these men and use that footage to blackmail them later. Just like gossip claims he did to Stevie J. According to rumors, Stevie J came over to Diddy's house or Diddy's party and he got with some white boy and he did his thing, allegedly. They say it was consensual. I don't know, but as far as I heard the rumor goes, the white boy consented and it was a consensual encounter. Well, next thing you know, it was found out that Diddy allegedly secretly recorded Stevie J and this white boy doing this because he allegedly showed the footage to a young producer named Rodney Jones that he was trying to coerce into messing around with him. This is another story of alleged sexual assault. Gossip claims Rodney Jones is a young up-and-coming music producer that Diddy hired on to do his new music. But instead of Diddy paying the boy with cash or money, gossip claims Diddy was trying to pay the boy with stick. His stick. And per the story, Rodney told Diddy that he wasn't interested. He didn't get down like that. The rumor has it Diddy was so eager to try to get this young man to do some things with him, he pulled out that video I was talking about just a second ago and was like, see, hey, didn't you say you looked up to Stevie J? See, even Stevie J do it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody does it, man. It's okay. And so per Rodney, he continued to tell Diddy that no, you know, he just wasn't comfortable. He didn't want to do it. Well, he claims that one night Diddy threw a party, said he got something to drink, and next thing you know, he passed out and woke up the next morning with no clothes on in the bed with Diddy and like 2 other people. And this story right here is really just the tip of the iceberg of what Rodney Jones was saying. Allegedly, he also said that Diddy was trying to pass him off to Cuba Gooding Jr. so Cuba Gooding Jr. could get some stuff going on. And if I'm not mistaken, Rodney Jones is another one that claimed that he saw underage people attend a Diddy's party. And another person who made this claim about underage boys and girls was Diddy's bodyguard, a man by the name of Gene Deal. He said not only did he see underage girls at Diddy's party, allegedly Gene Deal said he saw Diddy putting drugs into these girls' drinks and giving it to them and waiting for the girls to pass out. And I believe, so I'm gonna just say allegedly, he also said that he saw Diddy kind of force these girls to mess with everybody. You know what I'm saying? The whole crew. And it's really just a lot. It's a lot against Diddy. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things that people are saying against Diddy. You got these stories of people saying that he forced these sex workers to get full up of drugs and sleep with people all night doing orgies and dancing and drugs and stuff, that they're so worn out the next morning that he hooks them up to an IV just so they can have energy to get through the next day, where when that night came back around, they would have to do the same thing all over again. Kind of like they were just trapped in a cycle. Matter of fact, this guy named Jonathan Oddie said that he was Diddy's sex slave for a while. Said that Diddy kept chopping him up in the booster part and wouldn't let him leave. Like I said, if all of this stuff is true, even if it's just a little bit of truth to this stuff involving Diddy, It really just seems like he thought that he was untouchable and he was just like, just doing stuff. And if the conspiracies are true, like I said, it seems like he confused himself with his handler. But all I know is today, Diddy is locked behind bars. He also is on self-delete watch. A lot of people are like, you know, well, something probably gonna happen to him because he can take down a lot of folks. Jay-Z and Beyonce and all, honey, that ain't the half of it. Them handlers, them elites don't even probably care if he take down Jay-Z and Beyonce. That's not what they're worried about. They don't want him speaking on them real folks. But I'm going to just leave it alone because at the end of the day, I don't know what's true or false. Everything in the video is probably just one big lie. Who knows? But anyways, guys, this is the end of the Diddy video. I don't know, this thing may turn into a saga depending on what happens next, you know, also depending on how deep I want to go and reveal and stuff like that. But anyways, if you like the video, please like the video. If you are new here, please subscribe. If you've been sitting on the fence, please subscribe. And guys, I'm about to go. I'm about to make another video. Love you guys. Bye.